Ever wondered the difference between e-commerce and dropshipping? Don't you worry, because by the end of this video, you will know the exact difference between these two business models and which one is the right for you. Hey everyone, my name is Sarkis. I have scaled numerous brands and dropshipping stores to 6 figures and beyond. If you want to stay up to date, make sure to join this community by subscribing to this channel and put that notification bell on so you don't miss out. Without further ado, let's dive right in. First and foremost, we need to understand the two main business models. E-commerce is basically selling products online, but you have to buy the products in bulk. So let's say you want to sell this ring right here. You will have to buy a big quantity in order to build a brand around it. The supplier will ask from you an MOQ, which is minimum order quantity. And usually that ranges between 100 to 500 and beyond depending on the supplier. So let's say the supplier of this ring says he has an MOQ of 100, then I will have to buy 100 rings before I start my brand. So with e-commerce, there will be an investment prior to building the brand. Dropshipping, on the other hand, is the same idea. You sell products online, but the only difference is that you don't own any inventory. I want to sell this ring. Well, I'm not gonna buy any ring before I get a sale in. You can decide on the product today and start selling today. So dropshipping does not require an investment in terms of stocking inventory. Of course, you're gonna make sure that the supplier of this ring supports the dropshipping model, because not all of them do. Now that we understand the main difference of these two business models, let's dive into the pros and cons of each one. Let's start with dropshipping. What are the main pros of dropshipping? Number one, it's a very low cost business. The risk is very minimal because you can set up a shop today, which by the way, I will leave a link in my description with Shopify, and you will only have to pay $1 for 3 months if you use my link. So basically for $1, you can set up a whole entire brand, talk with the supplier, and already have something going on. And also the dropshipping model comes with reduced overhead costs. So contrary to e-commerce, you don't have to pay warehousing, you don't have to pay extra for packaging, and so on. So the whole cost of this business is normally way reduced, and it's a low business entry. The second pro of dropshipping is how easy it is to start. If you use the link in my bio and you set up a Shopify, basically talk with a few suppliers, then you can literally get started today. The setup of this business is very easy and fast to do. The third and best pro is the flexible location. Now listen, I'm not gonna lie, that's what got me into dropshipping in the first place. I'm a person that loves traveling. I'm a person that really likes this freedom of location. I never worked in an office, and I would never ever work in an office. I really like my office at home, and I like working from anywhere. If I wanna go to X, Y, and Z to different countries, I can do that while still making money and while still working. And I think this is such a good and important freedom to have, because on another note, talking about traveling is super fun, of course, and having that freedom. But on a more serious note as well, this flexible of location is so big. And I think any human should have access to this freedom, because, for example, my mom last year was diagnosed with cancer and she had to go really harsh treatments. But I'm in Barcelona and she was in Lebanon, and there was no way in the world that I didn't want to be next to her. So I literally moved to Lebanon for an entire year. My work was still intact because I can work from anywhere with a Wi-Fi connection. And so that really helped me to stay, and create memories with my mom before she passes. And so I can't stress this enough, but the location flexibility, I think and believe, is one of the most important things, any human can and should have. So I'm honestly forever grateful for allowing myself to get into a business model and believing in e-commerce and dropshipping, because let me tell you, it really changed my life. Now let's go back to the pros of dropshipping. The wide product selection. It allows you to basically sell anything that comes to your mind. If today you want to sell a ring, tomorrow you want to sell a water bottle, after tomorrow you want to sell a phone, you can do all of that on your general dropshipping store. Whereas of course in e-commerce and your brand, you are more niche down and more focused on one or a specific niche. If Christmas is coming up, guess what? I'm gonna be selling Christmas Christmas products. If summer is coming up, I'm gonna be selling summer products, and so on. This brings me to the next pro, which is scalability. You can easily scale since you don't have to deal with any physical products yourself or manage inventory. You can really focus on scaling, adding other countries, and so on. In fact, with dropshipping, you can have a very automated process where the supplier is linked to your shop and they take care of the fulfillment. So all you have to worry about is marketing and scalability. Now, I want to end this pros list with the most important thing in business, which is the reduced risk. Doing dropshipping and starting a dropshipping business comes with a reduced risk because obviously you don't have to buy inventory and you can set up a shop today. If it doesn't work, all you have to do is close your shop. So there is not much risk that you're taking on when you're starting such a business. Now, this all sounds too good to be true, and I agree with you because we talked about the pros in depth, but I will give you guys also a list of cons and be as straightforward and real with you because dropshipping is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Let's start with the high competition. This is a rule of business. Anything with the low entry just gets saturated very quick and the competition goes very, very high. Imagine if it's so easy to dropship, imagine the amount of people that want to do it, from 16-year-olds to 20 to 40 to 50, all age ranges can do this today, and so the competition is very high to actually be able to make it and stand out as a dropshipper. The second con of dropshipping is the lower profit margins. Obviously, if you're going with the standard dropshipping model, which is from China to the different countries, then every single time you have to ship the product, you have to pay that shipping price, and if you don't buy in bulks, usually the price is way higher, so you're not taking advantage of any discount. So that will eat away from your profit margin. Another hole of dropshipping is the intense price competition. So let's say your competitor is selling this product at 30 and then another competitor is selling the product at 25, and then they are getting all the market share. You are forced to go from 30 to 25. Dropshipping also comes with a lot of shipping complexities because of the time. So if you are shipping your product from China to any other country and you don't have a private supplier, shipping times can go as long as 60 days, which is crazy. So make sure you have a really good private supplier that you trust. If you want a hold of a private supplier, DM me on Instagram and I can help you out with that. On top of the shipping complexities comes the quality control and the inventory. If you don't have a straightforward connection with your supplier and you don't really trust them, then they can literally run out of stock without telling you while you're selling, and the quality can be really bad, which can result with a lot of chargebacks, and that is not fun. I had this issue myself. I was selling a product. I didn't know about how bad the quality was because I went with the supplier I supposedly trusted, and what happened was we were getting a lot of sales, the demand was there, but the quality wasn't. And so a few weeks in, I started getting a lot of chargebacks. Customer support went up the roof. It was horrible, so bad so that Stripe literally put a hold on my payments for 3 months. It was horrible. So quality control is so major in dropshipping, and if you don't have that, you don't trust the supplier you're working, that can be a very big risk for your business. And last but not least, the branding challenges. Now, of course, dropshipping also comes with branding challenges. It's very hard to stand out when you all are selling the same exact product and you're using the same videos, the same photos, the same marketing angle. So it's very hard to actually build a brand that is sustainable. Now that we've covered the pros and cons of dropshipping, let's look at e-commerce and see what are their pros and cons. Number one, for e-commerce, since you have inventory, you have direct control on the fulfillment, you have direct control on the quality and the shipping times. This gives you a big advantage to make sure your customer is always happy and that you're realizing the mission you're looking for. The second one is the higher profit margins. Because you are buying in bulk, you usually get a big discount. Since you're shipping once as well, all those items from China, that usually comes with a very big discount as well. So that allows you to have higher profit margins. On top of that, you are not competing with anyone else to the bottom with your prices. So you are standing out with your brand and you are not having any competitor that is having the same exact product. Another great opportunity with e-commerce is your branding. You can see Louis Vuitton, Gucci, they are all selling their product at 100 times markup. They get the product for basically nothing and sell it for thousands and thousands of dollars, and the only reason is because of their branding. They have positioned themselves so high, they can put the price that they want to the items that they are selling. And once you build a brand, then you have increased loyalty with your customers. So people will buy again and again from you, especially if they have a good customer experience and they really resonate with your values. You also have greater flexibility in marketing because now that you have a brand, you can actually collaborate with big influencers in the market and offer them unique or branded products for promotion. So obviously with a dropshipping store, you are not able to do that, or influencers are very likely to reject that partnership, whereas with a brand, they usually will partner if you guys have the same values. Sounds great, doesn't it? Now, what are the cons of e-commerce? So as we spoke before, the higher initial investment, you do have to invest in your brand before knowing if it's going to work or not. Another one is the inventory management. You have to keep track of the inventory levels. Managing restocks or avoiding overstocks can be very challenging. There's also more operational costs such as storage handling, warehouses, and basically the shipping. Either if you have a warehouse, you will have to pay that, or if you're doing an e-commerce from your house, then you still have to go every single day to shipping companies to ship out your product. So it comes with more operational complexity. And last but not least, it's the higher risks. So obviously imagine you do all of that, you buy the inventory, you build a brand, and then there is no market fit, nobody really likes the product, or you are paying so much in advertising that it's not working. It's gonna be very hard to actually let go of the stock and do anything about it. There can be complexity of, having a lot of inventory where nobody wants to buy it and then you don't know what to do with that inventory. To conclude, both dropshipping and e-commerce are really good opportunities, especially that you can make money anywhere in the world. You have flexible location and the scalability is endless because you can reach everyone that you want to reach in any country you want to expand to. Dropshipping provides a low risk entry but is very competitive, and e-commerce is a higher level entry, so you have to invest before entering the market, but is higher risk at the end of the day because you don't know if there is desire for the product you're selling. So both of these have pros and cons. You guys heard it all over the video. Personally, my favorite approach to this is you start by dropshipping a product, you validate the demand, you validate the need of this product, and then you can build a brand around it, customize the product, and so on. This for me is the best of the both worlds. You enter with a low risk, you really put a lot of effort to stand out, and then you invest in a full-on brand to differentiate yourself from the market. And that's pretty much it for today. If you guys like this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up and comment down your biggest takeaway with which one you think is the best for you. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all next week.